Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Race. And this movie came out in 2016, directed by Stephen Hopkins, the same director as A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child. And I thought this movie was bad. I didn't really like anything about it. It was too long for what it was. The film was very repetitive, and all in all, it was just a very frustrating experience. I found the characters in this movie to be incredibly cartoonish and cheesy, and really the whole movie is like that. Very dumb and cheesy and very repetitive. And you get scenes where characters are talking about racism, and then you get scenes where characters are talking about the actual sporting events and like what you could accomplish and like dreams that never happened for certain characters, or like potential, like blah 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 blah. Like everything that has to do with track and, or track and field specifically. And that's fine and all, but just one scene would be fine. Why do we need like the entire movie just hammering in that same thing that was already established? And it's not like the movie builds on any of these things. It mentions it and then never builds on it. And it just rinse and repeat, and that's the whole movie. And I was just thinking to myself, man, why can't this movie just develop anything? Like, make it interesting. Like, you can't just plop these ideas into this movie and automatically assume that it's going to be good or interesting. You have to make it interesting. Otherwise, it's just going to feel like a huge waste. The establishing shots in this movie, I wasn't big on, and not because that I couldn't really see where we were at, but rather, everything just felt like it was in a computer, and that's how I felt about a decent amount of this movie, is that it was just taking place in a computer, and not in a good way, like Avatar 2. And the music in this movie I did not like at all. There were points where I was just confused as to where it was going, and I was just thinking to myself, what are we doing here? This doesn't need to be here. The plot of the movie had like almost no focus, and it just kept going around to all these different storylines, I guess, because there's no better word to describe it. These storylines that don't really have any payoff, or at least satisfying payoff. And it's just the most predictable thing in the world. Like, you know exactly what's going to happen if you watch the first 5 to 10 minutes of this movie. Like, you can predict exactly where the film is going to go, and believe it or not, you're going to be right. The pacing for this movie is terrible. There was a point in the movie where 20 minutes had gone by, and it felt like an hour. Like, I'm not even kidding you. Like, I just wanted the movie to end as quickly as possible, and this movie is over 2 hours long, and it did not need to be that long. Because this movie just dragged on and just had nothing for it. And it also feels like it's trying to be multiple things at once. Like, it's a film that has multiple ideas but doesn't commit to any of them. And as a result, it's just a film that has ideas but nothing to chew on. There's no substance underneath any of these things that's going on anywhere. And I mostly just felt as though every scene with Jeremy Irons could have been cut out of the movie, and the movie would have been a lot better, because it's just filler. Like, they don't need to be in the movie. Was I upset with Jeremy Irons' performance? Not really. He was fine in it. Like, I wasn't upset with him in the movie, but he did feel kind of wasted, because he is a great actor, and there's just nothing here for him to work with. And I also found it to be kind of odd that the second act low point took place in the middle of the movie. Like, almost exactly where you're in the middle of the movie. And I was thinking to myself, wow, what are we doing? This is just so unnecessary. And that's about all I have to say about Race. I didn't really like anything in the movie. Everything just was the most predictable thing ever. It was very annoying, very repetitive, very cheesy, and all in all, it just had no focus and just did whatever it wanted, and that could work in some movies, and Preferably, that would probably work in a film that's trying to be very experimental. But if this film was trying to be experimental, then I would say that they failed spectacularly. And that's putting it lightly. So with all that being said, I'm going to give Race a 2 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos as always. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below you thought of Race, and my social media links. They will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for The Man from U.N.C.L.E. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.